In today's video, let's have a look at one of the reasons why you might be hitting fin shots, all to do with the sequencing of your body moves. So here we have Robert Rock, one of the most elegant swingers on the European tour. And what I want you to notice is how his left knee here is working forwards and it remains bent until the club shaft is roughly parallel to the ground in the downswing. And it's only at this point onwards that the golfer starts to extend, that he starts to raise the belt, that it starts to go into this full extension at the end, which is characteristic of all the best players in the world. But the important thing to note is the sequencing of this. He had to keep his left knee flexed and moving forwards so that it was closer to the target than his ankle. So you can see the knee here is closer to the target than the heel of his lead foot, and therefore he had his weight sufficiently forwards before he started to extend. What you need to understand here is the chronology of events. So you know that when you come through the golf ball, you have to extend, so you have to straighten your knees, you have to raise the belt buckle, you have to make your chest point upwards to the sky. I normally say when the golfers are in the finish position, it looks a little bit like a banana, a reverse C, whatever you want to call it, but it's commonly demonstrated by all of the best players. They are always in this shape, right? So it's very important that you do this. It's absolutely going to help you generate power, maintain your inclination to the ground, do so many good things. It's a constant among the best. But in terms of your fin shots and how it's impacting you, what happens is you make a backswing, then you don't shift enough weight forwards. If you don't do that and you start to extend like so, then you are inevitably going to hit the top of the golf ball, start to fin the golf ball. And I think it's in these circumstances that very often players will say, after hitting the top of a ball, after finning a shot, they'll say, oh, well, I lifted my head up. And in reality, you're meant to lift your head up in the sense your head is meant to swivel and start to look upwards. But indeed, your head shouldn't literally be popping upwards like a jack in the box. Okay? But if you don't have your weight forwards to begin with, then when you do start to extend, it inevitably leads to the head popping up because we are going to make this move. We are going to go from a flexed position at address. At the end, we're going to be fully extended like this. And when I do this, you can clearly see my head is moving upwards. But in the time and space of a golf swing, we want to do this in such a way that the head doesn't move upwards. How do we manage to do this without the head moving upwards? Well, we make sure that this upwards motion is replaced by a side bend, which has the effect of lowering the head. So if I side bend and extend simultaneously, I'm able to maintain a steady head. So if I side bend and extend simultaneously, I'm able to make the swing here with a stable head without it moving upwards, like I said, like a jack in the box. So if you're in position, you're about to hit a golf shot and you don't shift your weight forwards as you come down, then as you make this extension move, as the legs, knees straighten, the belt rises, the chest moves upwards, points more to the sky, then inevitably your head is going to pop up. And yeah, there's a really good chance you're going to hit the top of a ball, you're going to fin it. And as we all know, that's not a great shot. And in the winter time, it can even hurt your hands if it's cold. So we don't want to be doing this. Okay. So again, what you need to understand is the chronology of events. And before you extend, you have to have the weight sufficiently forwards. So your hips need to move forwards because that's inducing the side bend that's going to help you to extend without your head popping upwards. So how are you going to do this? Well, quite simply, I showed you the video at the beginning of Robert Rock, and I showed you how, as he made his downswing, his left knee remained flexed all the way until his club shaft was parallel to the ground in the downswing. And the key reference point here was that when he came to this position, P6, club shaft parallel to the ground in the downswing, his lead knee was closer to the target than the heel of the same foot. So the lead knee is closer to the target. This is really helped by the fact that as he sets up, you would have both feet turned outwards. And that way, when you do bend this knee, which way is the knee going? Which way are the hips going? Well, they're going closer to the target, right? So if I flex my knee towards the toes like this, you can see the knee moves forwards of the ankle, the hips are closer to the target. So the drill, the exercise for you to try and start to be aware of this is as you make your downswing, you're trying to flex your knee for the longest amount of time, and it's only at that point that you start to rise up. So at some point, there's going to be an alarm bell ringing off in your head, in your mind. You're going to be, oh, I'm staying flexed for too long here. I need to start to extend and push upwards, because if you didn't, you might even hit the ground a little bit too early, because your head would start to sink as you flex, flex, flex without extending. So again, chronology. You flex the knee, shifts the hips forwards, shifts the weights forwards, which induces a side bend to the right, which means you can then extend without popping up like a jack in the box, and therefore you can hit a good shot. So I'm in position again. I'm going to feel that left knee. Keep flexing. I'm here. From this point on, I need to feel like I'm going to extend. I'll do that one more time, a little bit faster. So the left knee is going to keep bending during the downswing. I'm going to bring it forwards of the heel. From that point on, I can extend comfortably, and I'll be in no danger of hitting a fin shot, sorry, and my head is going to stay in the box. So very important here. How do you eliminate some of those fin shots you're hitting? Well, it's because, or it's by having the hips go forwards, having the left knee flexed for longer before you start to extend, so that you don't go straight over the top of the ball. Thank you very much for watching the video. If you have any questions or comments, please do pop them down below. Please also do like and subscribe to my channel. It's going to help you with your golf, and it's going to help me grow the channel. If you'd like to work with me wherever you are in the world, you can do so using the Skillist app, which is a fantastic way to send me your swings and receive feedback, and be able to monitor how your game is going forwards. And likewise, you can see me in person. I am based in the UK on the South Coast. Play your best golf. Cheers, guys.